Welcome everybody to another Khan Academy tutorial. Today we are doing point slope form. This should be a quick video, but let me not detract from how important point slope form really is. It's one of the most useful forms, especially when you're finding perpendicular and parallel lines. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. The main form, okay, so we're going to have a y, okay, and there's a minus, and then we're going to have an x and a minus, and that's in parentheses. Now what are we subtracting? Well, we're doing y minus y1, and we're doing x minus x1 multiplied by with the slope out in front of the quantity, okay? Now, what is the point x1 and y1? That is our given point. We already said it's a point slope form, so we have to be given a point, and a point is consisted of an x and a y, and then m is going to be our slope. Okay, so it's very similar to slope-intercept form. The only difference is we're going to pick a point instead of a y-intercept, and then the form changes a little bit. Okay, so now we have to find the first thing, and that is our slope. We don't know what our slope is because we've been given 2 points. So it doesn't really matter which one we call x1 and y1 when we're determining the slope. Keep in mind our x1 and y1 could change based on the slope and based on what we choose for our x1, y1 in our equation. So I want to make that very clear. So what we're going to do is first is we need to label. So I'm going to go ahead and label x1, y1, x2, y2. So the formula for finding the slope is the difference of the y's, y2 minus y1, over x2 minus x1. You rise with your y's and you run from your x. So we have negative 8 minus 6 in the top, and then we have 5 minus 3 in the bottom. That gives us negative 14 over 2. That's equal to negative 7 for our slope. So now we know our slope is equal to negative 7. So we're going to plug that into our formula. We have negative 7. Okay, I'm going to get everything else going here. X minus, and then we have equals, and we have y minus. Okay, now our x1 and y1 that we chose for our slope can change for the formula of the point slope. What do I mean by that? Well, we could technically choose either 5 or negative 8. We could make that our x1, y1, or we could choose 3 comma 6 for our x1, y1. It doesn't matter if we don't have any other information. We could easily write y minus a negative 8 equals negative 7, that's our slope, times x minus 5. Keep in mind you want to simplify, so we're going to end up y plus 8 equals negative 7, x minus 5. That could easily be our point slope equation. However, we're going to go based off what it gives us already, and it already tells us we have y minus 6. So we're going to use that information to complete our point slope form. So we have y minus 6 equals negative 7 times x, that was our y1, okay, 6 was our y1, and now we're going to use our x1 from that same point. We can't use the y1, the x1 over there. Okay, if we choose a y1 that's in this point, we have to stick with that point and do x minus 3. So to finish this off, we're going to have negative 7 times x minus 3. So negative 7 times, oops, double negative, times x minus 3 in parentheses. Okay, but now before I hit enter, I want to show something. We can easily convert this into slope-intercept form by solving for y. So to convert to slope-intercept form, which is like this, we just solve for y. So we'd get the y by itself. We'd do negative 7x plus 21, we distribute there, equals y minus 6, and then you'd add 6 to both sides. You'd get y equals negative 7x plus 27. So you can see we can easily convert it into both forms, okay? But I just wanted to show that point slope form is useful for different things. So we're going to check. All right, next question. Same deal, but look here. I'm going to start by saying, look at this. We have y minus 6. So I'm going to choose this as my y1, and I'm going to choose this as my x1, just so it matches up. Is that necessary? No, but when you're done, it might be jumbled up a little bit. So I'm looking at what it gives me first, and then that's why I'm going to make this x2, y2. So my first step is I need to find my slope. My slope is my difference of my y's. So actually, I can do y1 minus y2. I don't have to do x2 minus x1. If you want to do that, that's fine, but as long as you keep your 1s minus your 2s and the top and both and bottom, then you're fine. So I'm going to do my y1, which is 6 minus 4, and then I'm going to do 1 minus a negative 5. So we get 2 over 1 minus negative 5, that's plus 5. That gives me 6, right? Yes. So then I get 1/3 for my slope. Okay, so I do 1/3, and then don't forget I have to do x minus x1. Okay, my x1 I already labeled as 1, so I'm going to do x minus 1 and then 1/3 times that. I'm just going to double check my slope, make sure it's all good. 6 minus 4, 2. 1 minus negative 5 is positive 6, so then I get 1/3. Okay, so I get 1/3, I got to put a fraction, times x minus 1. Fraction, 1 over 3. Then I need a parenthesis, x minus 1. Double check, or that maybe that's a triple check. Discount, double check. Here we go, complete the point. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to look here, and I see that it's 5. I'm going to call that my y1 because there's a 5 here already. So now I'm going to call this guy x1. Okay, I'm going to do the slope quickly in my head this time. I do the difference of the y, so I do 5 minus a negative 1. That gives me 6. And then I do negative 6 minus a negative 8. That gives me positive 2. So I get 3 for my slope, and I already know my x1 is negative 6. Now this is a little bit different. So we have our slope times x minus x1. Now we have x1 is a negative, so we have x minus a negative 6. That's the same thing as x plus 6. So then I change it to 3 parentheses plus 6. 3 parentheses x plus 6. A lot of people like to think of it as it's the opposite of the point. So if it's a negative 6, it's plus 6. For point slope form, it's a positive 6, it's minus 6. Next question. Almost done. You might hear a bell going off here in a second. Just ignore it. So then here's our y1 because that matches up. Here's my x1. My slope is going to be 5 minus 6, which is negative 1, over 1 minus negative 1, that is positive 2. Negative, right? Negative 1 is what I said. 5 minus 6 is negative 1, 1 minus negative 2. Okay, now I'm going to write x minus a negative 1. That same thing as x plus 1, so there's my answer. Negative 1/2, negative 1/2, oops, double, 1/2, and then what I say? Oops, oh, I don't know what I just did. Be careful here. This thing can get out of control. X plus, there's the bell, just like I said, plus 1, and it's almost just in time. All right, so hopefully you guys found this useful and that you have the same results here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on Wes Explains Best.